to our viewers. Welcome to my friend. It's not really my guest because we are partners in this business approach. And today I think we must just go back to something that we just in the passing by we mentioned. Communication. And actually we said to each other, but communication is where the problem starts, and in communication is where the solution is found.
Indeed.
What do we mean by saying that?
Well, Willem, I think to start off, a breakdown in communication is usually the source for conflict and disputes. When parties come to a point where they realize they don't understand one another anymore, they don't know how to continue with a discussion or conversation about a certain issue, and they feel that they have reached a dead end in pursuing a matter between them. And there can be many reasons for that breakdown.
And sometimes it's not that I can't understand you. Sometimes it starts with, I don't understand myself. And if we are in dispute, you are not the right person to clarify my mind about my own opinions and my point of view. And bringing a mediator into the conversation just gives that brings a solution to that problem. And more than once you will find that when I'm clear about how I understand the problem and clear about what I want to say, whether it's in defense of myself or in contribution to working towards a solution, it is so much better if I'm sorted out. If the goal is clear, the objective of the conversation is clear. And isn't the objective sometimes actually where the crux of the matter lies?
Well, certainly, Willem, but you can be very clear about what you want from this conversation, but then you start to respond by not listening for understanding, but just to respond, to put your point of view across. And that's also not helpful in a dispute and in a conflict, because then it's also very difficult to find a common ground if you are just the whole time trying to convince me of your point of view.
No, it's all about me.
It's all about you. And that's also not helpful.
And actually, in all disputes, there's more than one party. It's a bad day when you've got a dispute with yourself.
Yeah.
But there's more than one party, and when communication was broken down between those parties, whether it's two or three, it becomes a circular movement. All communication about what is the dispute, what's the essence of what we need a resolution for, how we are going to get there. It's all not a highway to success. It is a circular movement, always coming past the same points. And it's then when the communication breakdown leads to a trust breakdown.
Yeah.
And trust breakdown leads to a point where I say, I can't stand this anymore. I am not prepared to talk one word more, even with the best of intentions of finding a solution. And that's where a mediator can make a huge difference.
Yeah, it's true, Willem. As we said, the mediator is trained to help the disputants to listen to one another and to express themselves clearly so that they can reach a solution, so that they can find the common ground and come to a point where they say, well, we can agree on the following things now that we have heard one another clearly again. with the help of the mediator.
How important is it, Tienes, to isolate the real problem?
Well, I think it's of paramount importance that we get to the essence of what's really in dispute here. Sometimes there are because of bad communication patterns that have built up over a period of time, that we don't stick to the problem anymore, but we talk about all these issues surrounding the real problem. And a mediator can help cut through all of those clutter and get to the point that's really in dispute, and then find agreement and solution to that point.
And actually what we find in the real world out there is that the parties to the dispute, actually the isolation of the real problem comes from them. It is only with the facilitation coming from the mediator that they arrive at a point where they did not arrive previously. And then from there, when that real problem was found and isolated, defined, and written down, if you want to, from then on, you can facilitate a conversation that's leading up to a solution.
Yes, and it's beautiful when that happens. We'll talk more about that, but it means that the two parties in conflict resolve the problem themselves, yes, with the help of the mediator. And when that happens, it saves time and it saves money, because we get to the real problem much quicker, and we get to the solution to that problem much quicker, which saves time and money.
You as the viewer may perhaps ask yourself now the question of, why are these people talking about communication skills, listening skills, these type of things? That's not unique to mediation. We know about that. But we discussed it. We have to talk about communication, how it leads to a problem, and how that same communication, if facilitated in the right way, can turn around the process and leads to the actual solution. Because in the future, you will see how relevant this episode becomes when we describe how the mediation process develops, yes, what's the components, how the interaction between the mediator and the parties to a dispute, how that is done, how the mediator brings the parties together, and. So just bear with us. It's so much better if we can explain this type of building blocks, yes, for better understanding of mediation in future.
Indeed.
And from my side, that's all for today.
Same here. Very good day.
Goodbye.